Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. So, I did a video on this whole situation down in Dallas a couple of days ago. And it blew up, not my video, but the whole situation blew up all over social media. It was all over Twitter. It even made the news. And there have been many, many, many think pieces and conversations about it. The owner of True Kitchen, Kevin Kelly, also um, I heard him on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show explaining the situation. So this has become a big deal to the fact that I've seen people attempting to basically, ruin this man's business, put him out of business, call him all kinds of names, Uncle Tom's and, Coon, and even call him anti-black. And I wanted to come back to this conversation because of what I just said, the latter, anti-black. I'm annoyed at the fact that this is being called anti-black. Okay. When I first made the video, I told you how I felt, and I still feel the same way. Nothing's changed. And that is, I didn't necessarily care for his delivery, right? I don't necessarily think that he should have scolded everybody, but upon further review, I see that there were, and people were saying there were several tables of women who were doing it. And to me, he was still talking to the entire restaurant, but a lot of people feel like he was just talking to that group surrounding there. But to me, he still made it seem like it was the restaurant. Nonetheless, no matter how it was, I still think that his delivery was off-putting. And he did apologize about his delivery, but he also goes on to explain that he, in fact, talked to this group several times about their behavior, right? And but like I said, I'm annoyed about the fact that he is being called anti-black. Now, I want to show you the video from a customer's perspective of him basically cursing everybody out. Okay, go ahead and take a look at this video, y'all.
Hey, hold on 1 second, ladies. With all due respect, hold on. Hey, stop this thing. With all due respect, ladies, I invested a lot of money into buying this building and to developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a, but come on, stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to crime, take it to pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out of my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people.
Her face is hilarious to me. But let me get into his statement that he made on Facebook. He was responding to someone. He said, "Thanks for the post. I appreciate your comments and will share a bit more. There were 3 tables that had been spoken to about twerking, and they were approached very politely less than 10 minutes before. And despite this, the last young woman decided to stand in our booth seats, place her hands against the glass windows, and start twerking on the glass. And enough was enough for not only that lady, but for the 3 tables of women who were there, who were the only ones in our restaurant to act this way. As for the music, we created True for it to be a place music could be enjoyed while we sit and eat. No song played is an excuse to stand on our furniture and do what this lady did. There are places for this, and True is not one. As for my delivery, I can assure you, I was a gentleman earlier, but my nice words weren't respected. True will be for some and not for all, and this is okay." So that was his statement, and he made a similar statement on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, okay? And I'm with him. I was with him then, and I'm still with him now. Again, the whole purpose of me coming back to talk about this is because I saw this whole groundswell of people calling this incident and him anti-black. And for the life of me, I am trying to understand why this would be considered anti-black. First things first, I saw several videos, and they're going to come up in a little bit. They don't have any sound, but I saw several videos of the women, twerking, the woman up on the window twerking, and him coming to the table. There are videos of him coming up to them to, pretty much ask them to stop. Now, I remember something that Tyler Perry said that it has stuck with me for just a really long time. He said, I think it was one of his stage plays, because I know this is on a tangent, but when he dressed up as Medea, I know a lot of people don't like that, but when he dressed up as Medea on them stage plays, he be giving a word. That's another conversation, though. Nonetheless, he said something along the lines of, once you become aware, you become responsible. And that stuck with me. And to me, it reminds me of this. Once he made them aware that this behavior wasn't acceptable, he shouldn't have had to come back and say anything else at that point. Look at this. This is a video of a woman shaking her ass. It's not too bad, but it's still, come on now, we eating, you know what I'm saying? And this is him coming up to them to talk about what was happening. Now, I'm not going to show the video of the girls at the window, but a lot of you probably already saw that, of her literally up on the booth at the picture window. Now, what if her ass would have fallen down or fallen through the window or fallen off the booth, fell on the table? She would be suing. And if you're a business owner, you understand that you're already paying a hell of an amount of an insurance just to insure the place. So this girl falls, and now she want to sue. Now she hurt her neck and her back. Now she want to take the place. Now she want to sue from something that she did. So what is that man to do? Again, I didn't care for his delivery. I didn't care for the whole scolding, what it felt to me, scolding the entire restaurant. I know that some people are saying that it was, like I said, it was just 3 tables or so, but it felt like the whole, if I'm eating, I'm like, well, I ain't did nothing. Maybe he just wanted everybody to know so he didn't have to say it again. Nonetheless, I still think that his delivery was off-putting. I stand by that. But everything else, he ain't wrong. He not wrong. And I don't understand why this would be anti-black. People are saying, well, it's anti-black because, what's wrong with the girls having fun, and you're just pointing out black women, and that's anti-black, as if ratchet behavior is assigned to black people, and if you correct ratchet behavior, you are anti-black. Now, how does that work? That makes me think that you think that only ratchetness and twerking is for black people, and anything corrected by that would be considered anti-black. And I just don't buy that, and I'm not believing that people could really believe that. Seriously. And as far as, listen, I saw you guys, y'all were going hard in the comments on the last video. I read them. I was reading them. I couldn't even keep up. It was great conversations. And even if I didn't agree with everything, there was a great conversation going down there. One of the things that I just have to disagree with is this whole notion that, well, he should change the music. He should change up the music if he doesn't want people to get up and dance. And I have an issue with that. And let me explain. The reason why I have an issue with that is because I feel like you're saying that certain individuals don't have control over their bodies. And in order for them not to act a certain way, you have to change something, as if we're animals. As if you got Tourette's in your ass and you cannot control shaking that ass when a certain song come on. It's called self-control. 99.95% of the people in that restaurant heard the same songs and did not get up. So that's a you problem. If you cannot read the room and see that the majority of us, we sitting here enjoying the music, probably bopping to it, but we're eating. That's a you problem. That's not a black problem. So it's not anti-black to me. And he should not have to change the music if he doesn't want to change the music. I disagree with that. I'm sorry, but I respectfully disagree with you guys who said that. I just don't. If he played Knuck If You Buck, that don't mean that you gonna get up and start fighting. If he played Take Me to the King, y'all gonna get up and start praise dancing? No. So if you won't do any of that, why can't you sit your ass down and eat when the other songs come on? It's called self-control. And certainly we can't sit here and act like we don't have any, or we can't say that we have something. Again, that's a personal problem if you can't do that. That's not a club, that's a restaurant. And people, the majority of the people do sit there and eat their food and listen to the same music that the rest of them was. Those particular people did not. Okay, and they got told. And that's the bottom line. Now, I see people saying stuff like, well, what he complaining about, oh, raggedy ass furniture, and don't nobody want. Listen, I don't care if I paid $2 for a chair. It's mine. And I don't want your ass on my chair. That's called being raised. You know that if somebody brought their badass kids over to your house and them kids started to jump on your furniture, you would want them back and you would tell them about it. I hope you would. So why can't he feel the same way about his shit? It's his. If I don't want you on my furniture, I don't want you on my furniture, because again, if that kid at your house and they fall, their mom gonna be like, oh my God, you know. So you don't want nobody on your furniture, because it's just common sense. It's just like, who raised you that you would get on somebody's furniture and start dancing? That's just craziness to me, especially in a restaurant. We ain't talking about we ain't at a club, we at a restaurant. So that's a raising issue as far as I'm concerned. Listen, I was born on the west side of Chicago, born and raised, and you know, there's a strip on the west side of the street where a bunch of funeral homes, you know, folks be at funerals, and I've been at plenty of funerals where people have come down the street and they speakers just blaring, just boom, boom, the bass is just. Does that mean that we should just start dancing at the funeral? It's called Read the Room. I know I'm at a funeral. It's a time and place. Okay? I'll back that ass up maybe at the repast, perhaps, if people ain't really sad, and you know, but I'm not going to do it at the funeral. This is what the point. That's how crazy it sounds to me. It's like people not understanding that there is something called time and place. There is something called reading the room. And, you know, and if you can't control your ass, then maybe you shouldn't go to that place. Maybe you should have just skipped the food and go straight to the club. And that's why I have an issue with people calling stuff like this anti-black. It's not anti-black. I mean, there are things in this world that are anti-black. I just don't feel like this is one of them. And telling this man, well, he should change his music if he doesn't want this and this, sounds a little Karenish to me. It just does. It just sounds like a little bit of Karenish, because I can hear Karen like, well, if you didn't want, you know, the cop to stop you, and if you didn't want to get shot, then you should have complied. You know, it's that kind of verbiage that just reminds me of white people always trying to correct us. Well, if you don't want this to happen, then you should do this. Ain't that anti-black? Ain't that anti-black, telling people that if they want this to happen, then they shouldn't do that? So help me understand. I'm really trying to understand that. I really am. And I just wanted to come back on this conversation. I don't want to belabor it, because I certainly think that it has been, you know, just drilled into the ground in the last couple of days, but it has definitely sparked some really good discussions down in the comments, and it sparked some good conversations online. But just one of them that I just wasn't having, or I just wasn't feeling, was the whole anti-black thing. I'm just like, how is this anti-black? I just don't feel this. And I don't think that this is we just don't protect black women. Like, listen, all black women don't subscribe to twerking and this kind of behavior when we're at a restaurant. So don't try to put this on the umbrella of protecting black women, because it ain't. The majority of us don't agree with it either. So don't try to do that. Okay, we ain't buying it. We are not buying it. But anyway, I wanted to come back to you guys really quickly. My voice is still a little out because I'm still kind of under the weather. Just a little bit. Just a little. And but I did want to come back to you guys to just talk a little bit about this now that I have a bit of an update. It doesn't change anything. I just wanted to add a couple of little nuances to it and to see how you guys felt about this whole thing being called anti-black. And if you agree, some of you might actually agree, and think that, you know what, it is. You shouldn't have done that, but I said what I said. This is how I feel about it, and you certainly could disagree. Anyway, jump down in the comments, guys, and, comment, tell me what you think about it, and like, and subscribe, and I will, of course, see you guys on the next video. Take care and have a great day. Take care, y'all.